All right, good morning, everyone. And what I'd like you to have, if you don't already have it, 2 blocks, 2 tennis balls, and a strap. And I was laughing as I was going through my videos, trying to figure out what I can make videos of for people to access. All the videos are about neck and shoulders and hips and spine. And that's what we're going to work on today, with a few things added in. So what I'd like you to start off with are your tennis balls and just rolling through your hands. And if you don't have any tennis balls, you can just massage your hands. So we're going to roll through the hands. And it's really interesting, like as you're rolling through, notice where you feel sensation. And then we're going to pick them up and squeeze them a little bit. And again, you can hold them in different parts of your hand as you're squeezing. Kind of see what feels good and what doesn't. And when you're done with that, we're going to take the tennis balls. And what I want you to do, you're going to bring the bottoms of your feet together. And your knees are pointing out to the side. You're going to lift up one hip. So you're not going to put it under your bone. It's not under your sits bone, right? It's going to be right in the center of your glute. And then do the second side. If it doesn't feel good having your legs in the bound angle position, you can sit cross-legged. And what I'm going to invite you to do now is just close your eyes for a moment and start to focus on your breath. And for our breathing today, as you breathe in, I want you to picture or, imagine your breath moving all the way down your body to your pelvic floor. And then as you breathe out, as if you could push from the bottom of your torso out, from your pelvic floor up, out through your nose, pressing the breath out. And doing that for a couple of breaths. And just seeing how it feels to pull the breath all the way down your body. What parts of your body are you activating as you breathe like that? And now we're going to, I'm going to invite you to make a sound today, and you can choose to make it aloud or make it inside of your head. It's up to you, or just listen. The sound is going to be right? So like in whatever. So we'll inhale, that deep inhale that we've been doing, and then as you exhale, it's going to be a longer than what I just did. As you're doing that, the idea is to connect with those muscles all through your core. And then pause for a moment. Notice how you're feeling. I can feel my body temperature go way up as soon as I start to do that. And then thinking about how you want to feel when we're done today. Right? So you notice how you're feeling now. How do you want to feel when we're done? And then once you set your intention, we're going to take the hands behind the body and press down so your torso gets long. And then you're going to reach one knee over to the other knee, right? And then lift that one up and go back and forth. And of course, your tennis balls might start to run away. In that case, you can fix them or let them be gone. You're just going to move with your breath, noticing how your hips feel, how your low back feels, how your legs feel as you're moving here. All right, now the next time that you're back in our starting position, you're going to take one tennis ball, and where I want you to run the tennis ball, and I'm holding it up so that you can all see what I'm doing, but you're going to come onto the side of your body, go down the outside line of the thigh. And so you're going to use your weight in your elbow so that you're not putting all the weight in your IT band, right? And obviously, if it's too intense, you lift yourself up or you get rid of the tennis ball, you know, or sometimes what I do is have all the weight in my hip and then move the tennis ball down the leg and move my leg up and down, right? So then it hardly has any weight on the tennis ball. So after you do the outside line on one leg, we're going to flip ourselves around and do the second side. And obviously, if you have any questions while we're doing this, please let me know. And if this is not meant to hurt, you're still breathing. So we're going to try to breathe fully like we did at the very beginning of class the entire time that we're practicing together today. And I'll do my best to continue to remind you. Now, when you're done, and some of you might want to stay a little bit longer doing that, that's fine, you can keep doing that. We're going to massage the bottom of the feet. And then, you know, I like to use the thumbs on the bottom, the fingers on the top, kind of pulling your toes towards your body, stretching them out, making your way through the whole foot, around the ankle, lower leg, around the knee, and then through the upper leg. And I know I said that really quickly, but you move at your own pace. And the main thing is that by the time we're done doing this, you've given the same amount of attention to both legs, right? Both feet, if you're choosing to do this. All right, now, again, you may continue to do that. Now we're going to work a little bit with the arms. So you rolled your hands previously, and so now what I want you to do is just make your way up the lower arm, and then into your upper arm, front and back, sides. And then eventually, and I'm sitting up on a block because we don't have blankets available to us. So when you're done doing that, we're going to interlace the fingers, roll through the hands a couple of times in each direction. And then you're going to pause and connect with the breath. And we're going to start to move through the arms. So the inhale is going to be both arms up towards the sky. And you're trying not to move the head, neck, and shoulders. And then exhale down. So inhale, reach up. And exhale down. Now, the next time that you're up the top, we're going to pull down to the side. So now the inhale is going to be up, reaching towards the sky, and you are making your own resistance by pulling down. Inhale is up, so you can make it as intense or as easy as you choose. And your legs are in whatever position feels good. So if you don't feel good cross-legged, stretch them out straight in front of you. One more time. Okay, now we're going to do one more. So you're going to take your arms, palms are facing forward. The inhale is going to be when you press back. The exhale, you're going to press forward, chin towards the chest, palms come towards one another. As you inhale, turn your palms back, press, and then exhale, turn your palms again so they come together in the front, chin towards the chest, so that you're stretching the upper back body and the neck. And you're moving through the shoulders in different ways. And I know it's a lot of work, but it's worth it. Okay, after your next Exhale. You're going to relax your arms and keep your chin towards the chest. Now we're going to inhale the shoulders up towards the ears and exhale, roll them back. And just do that a couple of times with your chin forward as long as that feels okay in your neck. And one more time. And once you're done on the inhale, let's lift the head up. And then if you have a block close by, we're going to take the block and place that in front of us. And you can have it at whatever level feels good. So the movement is swinging your arms up towards your ears on the inhale. And the exhale, hands come onto the pelvis with the palms turned out, forehead towards the block or the ground. So inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands to the pelvis, forehead towards the ground or the block. And moving at your own pace, inhaling up, exhaling down. I'll do that 2 more times. Inhale is up, exhale is down. And then after your next inhale, we're going to bring the hands to the heart center. And you can move that block out of the way if you were using it. And if you're feeling like having your knees on the ground, like if it's too pokey, because we're going to do another salutation, you can fold your mat over, or you can have a second mat underneath, right? Okay, so we're going to start with the hands at the heart center. We're going to use that sound ah again to engage the core in a different way. So inhale, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, we're going to make the sound ah and come into child's pose. Inhale to tabletop. And exhale, you're going to turn the toes under and come into down dog. Inhale, tabletop. Not tabletop, plank or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, reach for the sky. And exhale, hands to the heart center. So it's a different way to do salutation, okay? And so lots of choices. If you don't feel like doing down dog today, you can just do tabletop and child's pose. If it feels good to go through all the poses, we're going to do it a couple more times. And you can choose to make sound or not, okay? And adjust as you need to. So inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, plank or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, reach for the sky. And exhale, hands to the heart center. And one more time, we're going to go through it, but you're going to do what you want. I'm not going to call out the poses. You kind of do what feels good. But I am still going to ah. Inhale, ah, see?
So when you're done, we're going to meet standing up. And so, take your time getting there, finish your salutation, whatever you chose to do. You're going to find one tennis ball and just roll through your feet. And while you're doing that, you're noticing how the bottom of the foot feels, and also, like, how's your breath? How's your body temperature? How did it feel to hear or to make those sounds in your body? Like, could you feel a difference? And, of course, no right or wrong answers as you're going through that. So once you've finished one foot, you can move on to the other. I tend to kind of just go back and forth as needed. So eventually we're going to come to a place where you stop rolling, and we're going to actually keep a tennis ball towards the front of our mat because you may choose to add it into what we're doing, but don't have it in a place where you're going to trip over it, okay? So let's bring the hands to your heart center and connect with your breath. And so heels of the hands touching and the fingertips with a little space in the middle with your thumbs resting on your sternum. Feet a comfortable distance apart. We're going to inhale, reach for the sky, come up onto the toes if that's comfortable. Exhale, come back down. And so today, like a lot of times we keep our arms at our side. Today, we are trying to keep the hands together as we come up and just exploring how that might feel differently. And if it doesn't feel good to come up onto your toes, keep your feet flat and always moving with your breath. Now the next time that you exhale and the hands are at the heart, again, having a comfortable position up with your feet, we're going to interlace the fingers, press the palms down, and then reach up towards the sky. If that doesn't work, you can just press your hands towards one another. And inhale is going to be at the center. Exhale, you're going to reach over to the side. And as you reach over, you're pressing down with that outside foot. Inhale back to the center. And then to the second side. Moving at your own pace with your breath. And you kind of explore as you're pressing down with that outside foot. Notice how it enhances the stretch of the side body or not. What do you see going on? And the next time that you finish the second side, we're going to keep those fingers interlaced in whatever way works for you, or you're pressing in towards the center. Inhale is going to be up. Exhale, you're going to sit like you're sitting into a chair. And notice what happens in the shoulders as you do this. We're going to do this differently with the shoulders in a moment. But you're inhaling up, exhaling down at your own pace. Making sure the low back feels good. Let your hips go a little bit, right? Now next time you inhale up, we're going to separate the hands. So now the hands are pressing in towards the center. And again, inhale up. Exhale, take your hands down in line with your shoulders. And notice the difference of the fingers locked and the arms not locked. All right, next time we come into our chair position, we're going to bring the hands to the heart center. And I want you to notice your feet on the ground. Make sure that the low back feels good, that it's being supported. And I want you to shift your weight onto your left foot. And you're going to take that right foot and cross over top, like you're sitting into a chair. Very nice. If it's safe and comfortable, you could also have your hands on the wall. We're going to reach the forearms towards the shin. Breathe and focus. You might even wrap your foot around the outside of your elbow. And then possibly you're going to reach those fingertips towards the floor.
And they may or may not come down. That's okay, it's an exploration. And eventually, hands come back up to your heart center. You're gonna uncross the foot, inhale, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, we're gonna sit back into some level of chair, hands at the heart center. Shift your weight into the right foot. Cross over with the left. And again, at first you just find your balance, your focus, you breathe. Then maybe you start to reach the forearms towards the shin. Maybe you wrap the foot around the elbow. Woo! And maybe you slip out like I just did, and then you find your balance again. Reaching the fingertips towards the floor, then taking the hands back to the heart center. Inhale, reach up towards the sky. And exhale, one more time, sit back down. Inhale, and then exhale, slide into a forward bend. And here, let's move here for a couple of breaths. So inhale halfway up, and exhale into your forward bend. I just had an idea. I'm kind of wondering, how does everybody feel about a little inversion today? Love it? Okay, so we're still getting prepared for that. So as long as you're all into it, we'll give it a shot. So coming towards the front of your mat, and you have that tennis ball on the side. We're going to inhale up, exhale, slide into your forward bend, then inhale, take your right foot back. Now, this is a choice, right? You can place that tennis ball under your heel, and you're going to press down. So you're still using the 4 points of your feet, base of the big toe, base of the pinky toe, both sides of the heels, and you're going to explore bringing your hands up onto the thigh. Right? Or you can keep your hands on the ground. You're going to do what's appropriate for you, okay? And you have to weight that foot down evenly to hold yourself there. Now very carefully, you're going to take that tennis ball out, bring your hands to the ground, take the tennis ball out, step back into your plank, slide back into your down dog, and let's sweep the right foot forward. And again, take the tennis ball underneath your heel. Use the 4 points of your foot. Front knee is over the ankle. And then possibly bring your hands up onto your thigh. And make sure you're still breathing evenly, long, smooth breaths. And when you're ready, on an exhale, you come down to the ground, take that tennis ball out, step forward. Inhale, reach for the sky. And exhale, hands come down. Now for this next part, you're going to need a wall, and you're going to need your mat. Okay, and so you are going to have your mat against the wall. And you're going to sit down, and I will give you options so you're gonna sit against the wall so that, and those of you who have the bar there, you're gonna be very aware when you're putting your feet up, okay? So hips are touching the wall, and you may want to watch me first, okay? And your heels are making marks on your mat. Okay, this is called inverted L. Now you're going to come into a tabletop position. The heels of my hands go where the heels of my feet were. My toes are turned under at the wall. And now I'm going to come into a modified down dog. And this is where a lot of people are like, I don't have enough room. I need to move my hands out. If I move my hands out, then I'm doing a plank. Right? But it's no longer a modified down dog. Okay, so I come into my modified down dog. This is when I check in with my arms and make sure it feels safe. And then possibly I will step my feet up onto the wall. And there just happens to be a windowsill that fits my feet here. Vision is towards the wall. Okay? So I'll talk you through it again. So your back touches the wall, the heels make marks. You come onto your hands and knees. And remember that you don't have to do any of this. You're choosing and making sure that you feel safe. Then you come up into a modified down dog, lift the hips up, and you only step onto the wall if it feels safe. So sometimes when people do this, they want to take their feet up too high, and your vision is towards the wall. And the gal against the window, because of the window goes in, I would have your hands a little bit closer to the wall. Because I noticed that when I went up on the window here. And sorry I didn't say your name.
So it's fine.
What is it?
I'm Claire.
Claire. Okay, and then when you're done, you're going to come down and go into a child's pose. Pause for a moment. Rhonda, I'd walk your feet up higher and look more towards the wall, okay? Not towards your hands. Now, when you come up, you're going to, after you do your child's pose, I just want you to bend your wrists in the opposite direction because some of us are not used to having our hands with the weight of our bodies on them. But I knew I had to roll your hands at the beginning for some reason. Okay, so, and we're going to try one more time. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, so make sure the heels of your hands go where the heels of your feet would be. Modified down dog. Then step up onto the wall. And we want our leg, I mean, in an ideal world, our legs would be parallel with the floor and our body and arms would be perpendicular to the floor. Rhonda, it looks like you walked your hands away this time. Too far from the wall. And Claire, I'd walk your feet down. And then press with those legs. Yeah, and look at the wall. Now when you're done, again, you're gonna come down into a child's pose. And I love how like gracefully you're all moving in and out of this. That's amazing. And again, we'll move the hands when you're ready, no rush. So we come into child's pose after so that your system can, your nervous system, your circulatory system, all of your systems can come back to a neutral place. And then you stretch out your hands a little bit. And since we're at the wall, I have one more I want to do because a couple of you talked about quads. So, even though I just moved one. So you're going to be really careful here, okay? I mean, we're always careful, but. So what I want you to do is you're going to bring your knee into the crease of the wall and your shin, I'm going to turn to the side, and your shin is going to be up the wall. Okay? Does that make sense? And know that we all have different things going on in our bodies, and it's possible that your shin is not totally like touching the wall, and for others it will be. And then some of you are going to step that other foot out. Some of you are not. That foot's not going to step out. That's okay. And then you might bring your hands up onto your thigh. And then some of you might even take your back body up against the wall. Again, it's going to depend on what you have happening in your body. All those things like gender and age and experience and injuries. Keep breathing though, no matter what. And then, carefully, in your own time, no rush, we're going to make our way back down to the ground with the hands. Bring your left knee down, slide the right knee forward, and then we're going to take the second side. So left knee in the crease of the wall, possibly step out with your right foot, possibly hands up onto your thigh. No rush into any of this. You work at your own pace and you do what's appropriate for you, because, as I always say, it's much easier to prevent injury than to heal it. And again, some of you might start to make your back body up against the wall and extend your arms. You're going to find what works for you. But I'm guessing everybody's getting at least a little stretch in their quad. Continuing to breathe. And again, in your own time, when you're ready, hands down, right foot down, left knee off the wall. Awesome. And then you can make your way back to your spot, or you can stay against the wall, right? And we are going to meet on our back bodies. And I'd like you to have a strap or something that uses a strap, sock, or belt, and a block as you make your way down onto your back body. So once you're down on the ground, I want you to reconnect with your breath and feel the parts of your body connected to the floor and the parts that aren't connected to the floor. And we're going to keep that right foot down on the ground, and we're going to take the strap around the padded part of the left foot, and we're looking to have that left leg perpendicular to the ground, to the best of our ability, right? It all depends on how your body's made. And that leg is straight, again, to the best of your ability. Now you're going to turn that whole left leg and foot out as if you walk like a duck, but you're not dropping it down to the side. It stays perpendicular and you're just pivoting it. And then the right knee moves to the pinky toe side of the foot and out to the side. So just like in bound angle. So right knee out to the side, left leg up towards the sky with the leg pivoted out, but still perpendicular. Keep breathing. We're going to hold each position for a good 30 seconds. But you're not holding your breath. We're holding the physical position. Your breath keeps moving. Obviously, if it hurts, you're going to stop. Now we're going to make our way back to the center with the knee and the leg. And here, you're going to turn your left leg. You're going to, again, it stays perpendicular. Now you're going to pivot in towards the center as if you, I don't know of an animal that does this. If you're like knock-kneed, you walk with your feet turned in. And then you're going to take that right knee and drop it in towards the center. Right, so now you're moving towards the big toe side of your right foot and the knees going in towards the center. And some of you might want to walk that foot out a little bit in order to drop your knee in. And keep breathing. Again, we're going to hold for approximately 30 seconds. Now again, we're going to make our way back to neutral. Both sides of the strap are going to come into your right hand. The left hand is going to come around the outside of your left leg. You're going to pick up that right foot off the ground, reach for that foot, and then possibly bring that knee down to the ground. And if that doesn't work for you, you let go of the foot and just bring the knee to the ground. And then very slowly, with you in control, you're going to bring that left leg across the body, not letting the foot drop to the floor. You're controlling it using your strap. Keep breathing. See if you can relax your head and shoulders. And then you're going to press with that left hip like you're trying to move your hip away from your body, away from the torso. Keep breathing. This one I like to stay a little bit longer than that 30 seconds. But again, always making sure it feels okay. So very carefully, we're gonna make our way back up towards the sky with the left leg. Release the right foot and bring that knee back up towards the sky. And we'll take the strap off, and you can either have both knees bent or have your legs stretched out. And I just want you to notice how you feel from side to side before we move to the second side. And that was great. Any questions? No. Okay, then let's bend the knees. And this time you're going to take the strap on the padded part of the right foot. And just because you know what we did on the other side, I don't want you to rush through. But we're going to turn the right leg out. So again, it's perpendicular to the ground and it's turned out like this is the duck walk one, right? And then your left knee opens out to the side, so you're on the pinky toe side of the left foot. And you're just breathing and doing your best to relax in this somewhat interesting position. And making your way back to neutral. And again, keeping the right leg perpendicular, turning the leg and pivoting the leg and the foot in towards the center. And then the left knee comes towards the center and you're moving to the big toe side of the left foot. Never forcing. Coming back to neutral. And now the straps are going to come into the left hand. The right hand comes around the right leg as you pick up the left foot. The left knee comes down to the ground. If possible, you may let go of that foot. And then slowly you bring the right leg across the body, trying to relax your head and your shoulders. Keep breathing, long, smooth breaths. And then pressing your right glute and hip away from the body, or you could think about it too as lengthening your torso as you press the hip away. Long, smooth breaths. And then very carefully making your way back up to neutral, taking that strap off, bringing your left knee up, and then we're going to bend both knees and bring the knees in towards the chest. And as you're doing this, noticing how the back body feels, how your legs feel. You might want to move around with your knees or your legs, or you might just want to hold on to them. And again, checking in with your breath and your body. And then very carefully, let's place the feet on the ground. And here's where we're going to use the block. And actually, I'm going to give you two different ways. So you might take the block in the first or second height and place it under your pelvis, not at all on the spine, just under your pelvis. Some of you might choose not to use the block and just lift your pelvis up, okay? So the inhale is going to be right arm comes up, head turns away from the arm, and the hips are already lifted on the block, or you're lifting your hips. Exhale, head and arm, come back down, and then inhale, do the second side. So again, either you're lifting, and then you bring the hips down as you exhale, alternating arms, or you're having your pelvis settled onto the block and just moving through the upper part of the body. And again, moving with your breath. Long, smooth breaths as you move. And the next time that you do your left arm and you exhale that arm and your hips down to the floor, we're going to pause there for a moment. And if you have the block underneath your hips, you'll take that out. And then we're going to bring the legs perpendicular to the ground, feet flexed. Your legs may or may not be straight here. We're going to have the hands on the thighs. Inhale is going to be head on the ground and hands on your legs. Exhale, you're going to slide up your legs. Inhale, slide down. Exhale, slide up. Now, next time you inhale, we're going to bend the knees. And we're going to do the same thing now, but with the knees bent. So again, your hands are still on your legs. Inhale down, exhale lift up. And just noticing any differences having your knees bent, right? And one more time. And then after you inhale your body down, carefully bringing your feet down to the ground. We're going to stretch the arms out to the sides. And then moving with your breath, inhale, head and knees to the center. Exhale, head to one direction, knees to the other. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, opposite side. Moving at your own pace, noticing always how your body feels and how your breath is moving. And when you finish your second side, this is a time where I want you to check in and notice how your body's feeling. And is there anything else that your body would appreciate before making your way into Shavasana? And if so, you're going to do that. And if not, you're going to make your way into Shavasana. Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. So as you start to notice your body and your breath again, just checking in, how are you feeling? What does your beautiful body need in this moment? Answering the call, whatever it is. And then in your own time, if you'd like to do breathing practice and focus practice combined, actually, you can start to make your way up to a comfortable seated position. And the breathing I want to do today is a little bit of a stronger breath. So if you're someone who has high blood pressure or anxiety, it could intensify that. And so then I just want you to breathe normally. We're going to place our hand on the diaphragm, and the breath is in and out through the nose. And when you get to know how to do it, and if you know how to do it regularly, you can do it in a cyclical way, where it's just inhale and exhale, inhale, exhale. We're going to start though where we start if you've not practiced this breath, which is taking a nice big inhale and then breathing out with little staccato breaths using your diaphragm, right? You're pushing your breath out with your diaphragm. It's an active exhale. So breathe in. And the hand is on the diaphragm so that you can feel if you are engaging it or not, right? And so for those of you who may have had practice with this before, the way that it would look if you're doing it cyclically, it would be where my inhale and exhale are connected, right? I'm not pausing. So we're going to do it for, let's say, 3 rounds and see how that goes. So nice big inhale, and then short little exhales. Inhale whenever you need to. And when you're done, you're just going to relax your hand, close your eyes if they're not already closed. Long, smooth breaths. This is a time to notice how you feel. Notice anything like a temperature change or an awareness change, physical change. And I'm going to invite you to go right into that breath that we did at the very beginning of class, where as you breathe in, you pull the breath all the way down to your pelvic floor. And as you exhale, you press the breath out, starting at the pelvic floor and moving out, like you're squeezing a tube of toothpaste. Both active breaths, both engage your core more than naturally happens in your breath. And I find if I use Ujjayi breathing when I'm trying to pull my breath all the way down, that it's much more effective in me getting that And when you feel complete with that breath, you're just going to let your breath go back to its natural rhythm and pace, settling into your seat. Taking a moment to thank yourself for showing up, for doing the practice. And I invite you, if there's some aspect of the practice that really speaks to you, that you do that at home as well, because a little bit every day is much more effective than, one time a week. Although one time a week is definitely better than not at all. And I'm going to invite you to join me. Now I'll make 3 different sounds as we close. So inhaling the arms up overhead, exhaling sound Q to the heart. Q. Inhaling the arms out, exhaling the sound all to the heart. Inhaling, scooping up from the ground. Sound So thank you everybody for joining me, and I hope that you have a great week, and that I get to see you again sometime. Namaste.
Thanks, Jacqueline. Got a bolt.